All right, this is going to be a Champ 1 replay review in twos for lbal33 here. Didn't have any specific notes on what they wanted to work on, so like usual, we're just gonna watch it through in real time, and I'll write down any moments that I think we can look at in greater detail after the game plays out. And you'll have to excuse the bandage. I had a sinus surgery recently, so that's why I've got this funny thing strapped to my face. All right. So we'll just kind of take a look at how that rotation led to that goal a bit more after. I think with the full boost you picked up, you should have a greater sense of urgency in getting goal side back on defense. If your opponents had taken a more threatening route to your goal, they possibly could have scored there. All right, hopefully your teammate leaves this for you. That still functions. Nice, good finish. Alright, so you should pick up some pads or go get full boost. So going back to your corner, full boost does take you out of the play. So if your teammate did get the ball in a good position for you, you wouldn't have been close enough to capitalize. So that's kind of where sometimes it's better to just pick up the pads in your immediate vicinity rather than going all the way back for corner full boost, because it does take you out of the play just from the sheer distance. You probably shouldn't jump when your teammate has already also jumped. You kind of want at least one guy to have his wheels on the ground. And there, you probably should have just not jumped and gone for that backwards hit, because your teammate just had a better position to hit the ball. You know, it's better for somebody who's driving forward to hit the ball rather than somebody who's driving backward. Good catch. All right. Almost had. Well, you had the angle there. It just got blocked. Okay. Maybe there you could have passed to your teammate along the ground, and you know, if they have their eyes on the play and they're expecting that as well, that's a really good goal scoring opportunity. All right, good control. I like how you recognize that you had the time and ability to catch that ball. We'll see what maybe you could have done a little differently to capitalize there. It didn't go your way, but everything that led up to that, I did like. So you and your teammate are both looking at this ball. This is kind of so it worked out. It worked out. One thing I want to stop real quick to say is, just because a play works out and you score doesn't necessarily mean that it was a good idea. So you do want to separate when you're assessing how good it was to take option A versus B. Just because the decision you make ends up working out in your favor doesn't mean that it was the best decision to make. So separate the outcome from the whether or not you should have made the decision. But we'll keep watching. Keep watching. Right here, you don't want to end up right next to your teammate basically ever, because it means that you're not covering as much of the field as you could be, and you're getting in each other's way. Try to outlet pass to your teammate here. Okay. All right, we'll look at outlet passes, because outlet passes are one of the best ways to transition from successful defense to offense, and very often they result in a goal, or at least a really strong opportunity to score. Okay, you got beat there. So you're getting into your teammate's space. You know that he's in that corner of the field already, and he's probably looking at the play as well. So I probably would have just hung out near the back post of your goal there. Great challenge from your teammate. It results in a goal, so that's always nice. Okay. Very rarely, I'd say, do you want to stop your momentum when you're going into a challenge like we just saw. It's almost always better to maintain your speed unless you're focusing on getting a really like precise touch on the ball. I like the decision to pop because you know when the ball's blocking your view, you don't necessarily know when the opponent's gonna go. All right, we'll see what happened there and see if a different choice could have been made too. It's possible that might have been an error on the part of your teammate by not being fully back. Decent air dribble attempt. Gets swatted away. I like the choice to drive back here. And look, now puts you in a great position to score. That was awesome. That was exactly what you want to be doing in that situation. Alright, so your teammate didn't go up, so don't get beat here. Good. You had a good enough 50. Alright, we're going to overtime. Yeah. And a lot of times in these lower champ ranks, passing isn't something that's really on at top of mind for players. In those moments where you see, you know, the ball's in front of you and the goal's in front of you as well, you do end up conceding there. Unfortunate. So we'll look at, you know, how that goal came to pass as well. But just to continue my train of thought, there are moments where you know the ball's bouncing in front of you and you see the goal in front of you and you're like, well, I'm going to be able to take a power shot, you know, like drive into it really fast, flip into it, hit it with the nose of my car. This is going to be a strong shot, you know, strong scoring opportunity. If in those moments you can stop your muscle memory from taking that power shot and look at the field in front of you such that, what was it, 30. So right here, let's just let it play out of it. So your teammate right now, he you know pushes it to the wall, and then it ends up crossing over there, and you hit it high above the crossbar, which is fine. You can't get them all, but instead, if in these kinds of situations, if you can realize that you have, you know, we're pretending like you're your teammate here, but if you can realize that you have this teammate with all of this space in front of him, look at that. If you when you're in this position here, if you can just touch the ball forward a little bit, drive wide so you improve your angle and just blast it along the ground because that makes it easiest for your teammate to have a powerful shot. You know, it's just harder to control the ball when it's in the air. So if you can just pass the ball center when you know your teammate has all this space in front of them, it's really threatening. And they can either shoot directly off of that pass or they can like do a little fake and you know get the goalie to dive in and then they get a you know a casual dribble in goal. But let's go ahead and go back through the game in a bit more detail here. That's when when you start seeing those opportunities for a pass and you're able to execute on them, it'll definitely help you win some games. Where otherwise you just kind of hit it towards their net or their backboard and nothing really comes of it. All right, so you do concede pretty early here. So let's see what could have been done differently. All right, here I'd focus on getting the boost while staying ball side. All right, if you get a bit more comfortable while playing along the wall, you could have jumped. So two things I'd say here. So right here, you turn down. You turn down the wall. So your opponent hits it. It doesn't. So your opponent here, he doesn't want to jump off the wall and hit the ball because it'll be hitting it back towards his own corner. He could do that as a back pass and then have his teammate pick it up. So it wasn't bad of you necessarily to challenge in the way you did, but if you get 5% more comfortable in the air and transitioning from the wall to the air, instead of driving down the wall a bit and then jumping and landing and then challenging from the ground, if you just go right from the wall to the air, just air roll a little bit and fly to the ball and hit it, that'll definitely pay dividends for you. But you make the choice you did here. Once you see that your teammate misses the ball, you need to rotate a bit sharper. It's kind of tough. Most of the time your teammate's going to hit that ball, so I wouldn't dwell too much on that conceded goal. All right, we'll move on to 412. All right, so here, yeah. So you see you have full. Did you have full boost? Hold on. Oh, a replay glitch. Okay, that was a replay glitch. Never mind. So you go all the way back and pick up the full boost. Really, in general, I think it would be best to pick up the local pads in your area. And then, let's see. So here, you see your teammate jump up and challenge for this ball, and he's awkward on the wall. So I wouldn't have driven up to that play, really. I would have started rotate back sooner, just to make sure I'm in a good defensive position there. You didn't get scored on, so you weren't immediately punished for it, but it could have been a scoring opportunity for the opponents. So when you're second man, just understand that if you drive up to a play, that you are risking kind of an easy goal for the opponents if they get it past you. And then I didn't have anything written down until 2:45. Okay. So your teammate crossed you over and went into your half. Okay, yeah, so you control here. All right, so your teammate goes for a demo. I'd say once you catch the ball, and once you see that your opponent just has his car pointed right at you, that's an indication that he's probably going to be challenging pretty soon. Instead of if you saw that he turned back or he was pointed, parallel along his goal line, that generally means he's going to wait for your shot and then try to save after you make your decision. So I think just once you see, you have like a second and a half maybe where you see that he just kind of turns and points his car right at you, that's where you'd want to just do a quick flick or just a neutral jump and just pop it above him. I think so you did a great job of getting control of that ball. Once you get that control, try to get so good at dribbling that you don't need to think consciously about keeping the ball on top of your car, that so you can dedicate your mental efforts towards looking at your opponent and seeing what they're doing in reaction to your control of that ball. And that will let you outplay your opponents more often when you can spend more of your time looking at what they're doing in response to what you're doing. And then up here we have I just wrote down a YOLO. So this is the double commit that actually ends up working out in your favor. So you go for it, and your teammate goes for it, and then it goes in. So here I would probably, I would just sit back. I wouldn't have gone for this. I would have. You are the one that ends up scoring the goal, so you know, good job there. But really, I would have started slowing down a little bit past the halfway line. So I would have like stopped here basically. I would have just braked, maybe drive a little bit to the left just because that would improve an angle on a shot if the ball popped out towards the left side. So strictly speaking, you know, I would say this is a bad thing to do. And, you know, if the ball pops out a little bit differently, it could result in you getting scored on. So just keep an eye out for that. I also have 219 written down, so we'll see what this is. All right. All right, so yeah, you have full boost, so you know I think it's not bad for you to take that ball. Your teammate, you know, seemed like he wanted to continue with it as well, but ultimately he leaves it to you. So I would say, you know, you end up in this scenario. I would be more assertive. I would use some boost early, just to more clearly communicate to your teammate with your car's body language that you know you're going to take that ball off the wall. All right, and then at 2 minutes, an outlet pass. So right here, outlet passing is one of the best ways to convert to transition from defense to offense. So you have this great line. Let me switch to flying mode. You have this beautiful line where you can pass the ball at a 45-degree angle up in space because you don't want to pass at your teammate. You want to pass to the space in front of your teammate. So they don't have to stop their momentum, and it gives the defense less time to react. You know, if you slow the ball down, then your opponent gets more time to recover, and it makes your chances of scoring go down, frankly. So you end up passing it straight to the center, and then your teammate comes and wants to touch the ball, and then you know there's like some 50. You know, the play kind of breaks down. So what you want to do is so you did a good job recovering. You have a great back post rotation. And then I wouldn't have picked up this pad. I would have driven along the goal line here. And so part of the reason why your touch ends up going center is because you didn't stay along the goal line with your back post rotation. You know, you do want to be picking up pads, of course. But I think with where the ball was in this corner, and you see Sticky is like boosting into this challenge, so he's probably going to win it. And to me, that would just mean that I want to stay along the goal line rather than picking up these pads just in case he gets a bounce off of this 45 corner here that goes directly into the goal, perhaps. Staying along the goal line is going to let you defend that a bit easier. And the secondary effect that I might be harping on this a little bit is that you get a better angle on this ball as it comes in to pass it forward into this space, and then your teammate doesn't cross into the center. He stays here, maybe touches it forward, and you get to keep driving forward along the center line to be a pass back option. And those situations are very hard to defend because, you know, using your imagination here, you know, you have the ball, so the man dribbling up on the right, he has the option to shoot directly, the option to pass center for you as a pass back option, or fake and cause the goalie to overcommit one way or the other. So lots of YouTube tutorials out there for Rocket League. Look up, you know, stuff on outlet passing and transitioning from defense to offense, and it's one of the most fun parts of the game for me as well. All right, we'll go back to your view. We'll go to 135. I wrote down low boost. That's just what I wrote down. Good job going back down to the ground. And then, okay, you get beat. So here, you either need to commit faster or just abandon the play altogether and start rotating back. You get beat. Your teammate is back. And then you want to be picking up pads. Yeah, you just kind of didn't get back in time. Do you ever flip on this recovery? Because, all right, one flip. You have no boost. You could flip again. I feel like if you flip, you definitely had time to flip again, and if you had done them in quick succession, you would have been supersonic. So I think what I would take away from this is, you know, think a bit more critically about this specific challenge, but it happens. And then, you need to recover back the entire distance of the field. So you definitely, have the space and time where you can just flip twice and then flip again. And if you're aiming right at back post, maybe you get back in time to save this shot because it wasn't particularly strong. That shot wasn't blasted into the back of your net by any means. All right, then I have 30 seconds written down. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, I like the pop. And then probably just rotate back. Alright, so you kind of hesitate. It seems like you weren't sure if you should drive back or if you should turn and challenge. Hesitating is a killer in this game, definitely. If you had you have full boost, so if you had committed to either option, either committed to driving all the way back immediately or going for this challenge immediately. Wish I could go back by like 3 seconds instead of 5. So here, I think, knowing what I know, I would have just hit this ball over to the right side of the field, just blasted it. Or, not blast, obviously you want to try to keep control, but I probably would have just gone for the ball and just tap it to the other side of the field. More of a neutral play, not immediately going to convert to an advantageous position for you, but it's not going to result in a goal against either. Alright, and then we'll go near the very end. Alright, so the phrase I tell my friends is knee over the ball, because in soccer, how you keep a shot low to the ground is, if you just with, human anatomy, if your knee is over a ball, it means that it's very difficult to like kick it in such a way that it goes up. So, for this shot here, you just hit the underside of the ball, which pops it up. And then I would be further back here, and that would make it so that the ball doesn't get played over you. So pick up this full boost, and then I drive back to, let's see, where are you? So you drive back to here, which is about, the end of the offensive third. Yeah, I would have driven back to this mid boost line at least, because you're second man. And then, it pops out. Moyales gets to it first. So if you improve your reads a little bit and get to that ball first, then, there's an okay angle on the goal here, and maybe you score instead of getting scored on. And another thing to take away from this is that when you're challenging as second man, because you are in this scenario, it's do or die. So you got to make that choice of, I'm going up for this ball. I'm aware it's a risk, but I have confidence that I'm going to get there first. Or the more conservative option is to just cut your losses, keep rotating back here, and then you collect this ball pretty easily, play it to the right side, continue on. But good job overall. I liked what I saw. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Have a good one. Take care.